What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Hypocritical AF podcast. I am Albert Fig, and if you are new to the show, welcome. This is the Hypocritical AF podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening on all platforms or however you're watching on TV, laptop, computer, phone, fucking two-way, satellite, hackers. I don't know how you're watching, but thank you for tuning in. And I got to be honest with you guys. I am tired. I'm tired. And I didn't even feel like recording. I didn't even feel like setting up. I didn't even feel like going over all these supposed show notes or going over the setup. I didn't feel like doing shit today. And let me explain a few things before I break that down a little more. So I'm tired. I did a lot of driving. I think I drove like 8 hours today, literally up and down California. I had to do some work stuff. I had to pick up some stuff from the fam. Had a bunch of different things outside of this that I had to take care of. And I got up early, like at 4:45. My son he got sick. He has a cold right now, so he's not sleeping great. He's very needy right now, because he's sick. And, all these different variables outside of this that just made it tough to just want to come in enthusiastically and come in with, the same energy that I normally have. I had one cup of coffee early in the morning, and that was just to get me through the drive. The rest of the day, I was still pretty chill. But overall, energy levels are low, I'm just tired. It's just one of those days where, everything just feels heavy. Everything just is kind of like dragging on, and you have this going on. You got this going on, But I didn't feel like recording, and I didn't feel like doing this. I'm doing this later than normal, and it's later in the night. I think it's like 10 something at night. And I got to get up early tomorrow morning, but my thing is tomorrow is, well, not just tomorrow, but I drop these on Wednesdays. It's very rare. I think I only had like 2 other occasions where I dropped them on Thursday. And that was only because of maybe I wasn't in the area now and I was away from Wi-Fi. So I couldn't upload correctly, or I was dropping it on like a holiday or something like that. Those are the only times where there'll be like some instances where it's off, you know what I mean? But I drop these Wednesdays, and I made it a thing to be consistent with everything, and I make sure they drop them every single week, no matter what's going on, And it falls into that category right now. I did not feel like doing this today. And, I thought about it more, and I was like, that's okay, That's just like part of being a normal person. You get those type of days where you just don't feel like doing anything. In any profession, you could be a regular person that works 9 to 5, as a cashier at a freaking gas station or fast food, or even higher up, with more pressure, or like being a fighter, being a firefighter, and stuff like that. People have days where they just don't feel like doing anything. And I was just like, of course I don't. This isn't me complaining. But being consistent is really important. And here we are, But I also like that. I like talking about that type of stuff because it makes it relatable. You know what I mean? The whole thing about being hypocritical AF is, you do find the things that are hypocritical, and you do find the things that you can relate to. And relatability is a thing that I feel like can grasp naturally with listeners like yourself or viewers like yourself that can get this and be like, I'm not the only one that goes through that, because a lot of the times it's mental. We think about that a lot of the times, and we think, I'm the only one that's going through this, or I'm the only one that's going through that, or this is going on with me. Why is this only happening to me? That type of stuff, right? You've heard it all before. But realistically, it's like, that's everybody. That's everything. Whether you're going through this, or you're talking about this, or you feel like this is singular towards yourself, I promise you, and I guarantee it, that you're not. Like, that's happened to a bunch of other people before, or maybe a person has felt like this too. They just might have not been vocal about it or talked about it. And it's just ironic that I just have this as a platform to just kind of vent and just talk about and be like, that's how I'm feeling today. You know what I mean? So I say that to say, be consistent with what you say you are going to do. Don't be lazy now. You know what I'm saying? Just be consistent. Consistency is key. we've talked about. I talked about it like in a few other episodes, and a few other artists and people that I've had on before. They said the same thing, which is just consistency. You know what I mean? So, yeah, being consistent with all that. Also, side note, if you see me not kind of enunciating the best or speaking the best right now at the moment, it's because I have a fucking blister on the tip of my tongue, and it's really annoying. And I've had it for like 2 days now, and it hurts. And I hate getting these. I don't get them often, you know what I mean? But I get these freaking white blister things at the tip of my tongue. And, just so as a heads up, no, I'm not over here just eating random ass, okay? For you sickos that think that. Why did I bring that up? It's because I got a bunch of sick friends that think like that. And that's like the first thing that their mind gravitates to. Because I'd probably say some shit like that too. Hypocritical. But no, that's not the case. I don't know what it is, but it just hurts. You know what I mean? I've tried everything. I've tried Listerine mouthwash. I've tried the anti-freaking special mouth cleaning mouthwash that you get like from like the hospital. Did that. I tried getting, hydrogen peroxide, putting on a Q-tip and putting it on the little area. Made that shit burn, made it worse. And I feel like it grew and it got like a little more swollen after that. So shouts out for that advice. I tried freaking stabbing this shit with a goddamn little sharp object. I tried kind of scraping and flossing with some like dental floss and just kind of like trying to get it and to make it bleed and everything. Why I did that, I don't know. It's just I feel like it would scrape it away. It's like a surface thing. I felt like it, on my end, but I feel like me picking at it, me messing with it, of course, is making it worse. That's what everybody always says. Leave it alone. Don't touch it. It's only gonna make it worse. But it's kind of hard when you're constantly everything that you do, whether you're speaking, eating, or just moving your tongue, it's freaking touching your teeth or touching my teeth. So it's like, fuck, dude, shit hurts. You know what I mean? So I'm trying not to let it interfere with the speaking so much, seeing as this is a podcast. And I'm just trying to not really let it get in the way, but it's freaking hurting. So I want to know, have you guys ever had this shit happen to you? You know what I mean? Like, there's like mouth sores and mouth blisters, but I hate the freaking tongue ones. And I've had it like sometimes, like I've had it on the side before. And I don't know how the hell that came to be like that, but I've had them in the side before. And it's funny because I don't know how they come about. Now, I've heard this is just, I don't know if it's like a Mexican thing, but they've said before that you get those based off of like a craving, like you're craving something. Now, that's what my family have said before. They've been like, oh, you get those from like because you're craving something or you want something. And like, I don't know. I got to say, I don't know if I agree with that, okay? Sorry, Grandma. I don't know if I agree with it. Because if that's the case, I'd be having one like every single week because I crave hella shit. You know what I mean? I'd get one like all the time, and it fucking hurts. But I'm not going to talk about blisters the entire time, even though they are bothering me. But yeah, so May is officially wrapping up. This is the last week of May. June is around the corner, which is crazy to even think and say. Halfway through 2021. Which means that this is 6 months in already with the podcast since its first launch. I feel old, definitely feel old. I'm getting older. My son is older. Everything around us feels like everything's getting older. Shit is opening back up. The world is getting back to some type of normalcy. The gas is crazy. The gas don't even make sense. I don't get how like over here is. I was at the gas station today and it was legit like $4.65. Regular gas. I'm not talking about plus or spring. I'm talking about regular. $4.65. I wonder if it's gonna go up to $5 a gallon by the time like July comes from, July or like August or some shit like that. I don't know, but $5 would be crazy. But I feel like it was like a time where, we almost had that happen before, like in the past. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember one year it being like crazy prices, like stupid prices, like $4.80, some shit like that. And I'm sure diesel gets up there too. And like I was just in like the valley, like by Avenal, Kettleman City, Coalinga, that area. If you're familiar with the area, gas is over there is more expensive. And it's because it has like it's mainly like trucking highways, what highways for truckers, and a lot of people that travel down south. A lot of them take the 5 and go through LA. They go through those areas right there, and they come few and far between. They're not as available like every other exit or something like that. So maybe that's why they're so expensive. But I swear, in those, they're worse. You know what I'm saying? Like I filled up, it was like $490 or some shit like that, and that was for a diesel truck. It was like $490. And granted, they say diesel lasts longer and everything, but it was like, bro, $490. It's like, what? I remember last year or 2 years ago. 2 years ago when I was in North Carolina, I was visiting my homie Bell in Charlotte. And I remember at that time, gas over there was only like $2.20 something cents. 220 something. And that was just like a random ass gas station. I think it was like one of their more expensive ones. It was like 220 something. But it's always been like that. And the East Coast has always been, what I'm saying? Like it's always been cheaper than what it is out here in California. I don't know what gas is like in like New York or some shit like that, but I'm talking about like the South, like North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, even Texas too. Even Texas got like cheap gas, but it's always been like that. So it's tough to compare the two and be like, which is which. But all I know was that being out here in California, everything is more expensive, and you the listener, you the watcher, you the viewer, I don't gotta fucking like. What they call it, beat a dead horse. I still don't know where the fuck that came from. But, it's just everything's more expensive out here. But $490, come on, chill, yo, chill. I get it. Like they said, it was like some hacking shit going on. Like some people took over some shit with like a fuel line that took over some things. That's why everything's supposed to get expensive. And then you start seeing these memes of these fucking Teslas holding up like five gallons of gas, knowing that they're electric only. And then these people like stocking up and saving all their shit up for the gas. And it's just like, bro, what is next? You know what I'm saying? Like first it was like the food being short, paper towels and toilet paper being bought up the shelves and everything being flown off that. And then the gas. So it's just like, yo, what is next? Hopefully nothing crazy, but yeah, 2021 has been, for the most part, has been pretty good. You know what I mean? For the most part, 2021 has been, better, opening up, a lot of good stuff happening. I mean, I can say, it's easy for me to say because I'm pretty sure I got a different perspective from like people that have like some bad shit going on with them. And if you do, I apologize that, I'm not like trying to like be like, yo, everything's all good, knowing in some places it's not. But I can only speak for myself, Yeah. I looked up something today because my curiosity level, goes all over the freaking place. My mind's like on 1,000 all the fucking time, even to the point where sometimes it's hard to sleep at night because I'm constantly thinking about this and that and then that, If you know what I'm going through, But I thought about this fucking, I found myself saying this for this like phrase or this word. I guess it's more so of a phrase, but I found myself saying, mind your P's and Q's, like saying that more often, and not really knowing the origin from it. So like I'm thinking, what the hell is minding your P's and Q's? So I did what every other person would do. Took it to the internet. So I Googled exactly what the hell does mind your P's and Q's come from? And there's two different answers that came up with it. The first one saying that, I mean, it's more so like opinions, but there's two different like things that popped up from it. One of them being saying that the origin is from the taverns of the 17th century. They're saying that bartenders would keep a watch on the alcohol consumption of the patrons, keeping an eye on the pints and the quarts that were consumed. As a reminder, the patrons and the bartenders would recommend they mind their P's and Q's, so pints and quarts. Is that one, is that the real one? I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. It sounds cool, right? P's and Q's. At least it actually works. And then they're saying that in the mid-19th century, that it came from the English language expression meaning mind your manners, mind your language, be on your best behavior, or watch what you're doing. See, I feel like that one is the more probably like go-to answer for like a lot of people. They're probably like, mind your P's and Q's, be on your good behavior and all this shit, But But it doesn't really answer what the hell the P's and the Q's is. Now, if I'm off on this one, let me know, because I don't know what the hell the P's and the Q's are, and I can only go off the pints and the quarts. And going forward, I think that's what I'm gonna do: pints and quarts. You know what I'm saying? If I'm off, then I'm off. Mind your P's and Q's. Been saying that lately. Oh, and I just recently found out what dot your I's and cross your T's meant. Okay, I finally know what that meant. I mean, I would hear all the time. It'd be like, yo, you got to make sure you do this, you do this. Don't forget, dot your I's across your T's. And I would be like, yeah, it's a saying. That's a saying, but what the hell does it even mean? But yo, dumbass, it means exactly what it says. Dot your I's and cross your T's. And like, pay attention to every little detail. Make sure you get everything right. I finally got that figured out in 2021. Okay, I'm slow. It's obvious. But yeah, so the one thing that I wanted to bring up too and talk about was the fucking the billboards over the weekend. Now this is later, by the time this comes out on Wednesday, it's midweek, so I'm sure like you already like heard it all up on Monday, and I'm sure you already heard it all up on Tuesday and about these winners and all this other stuff. But there was one thing that I gotta like talk about, at least, or address on this platform and on this podcast, which was Drake winning Artist of the Decade, which is like a crazy feat. I mean, like an accomplishment, you know what I'm saying? And yo, I gotta be honest, there's not much pushback from me. I mean, what's a good argument against it? You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's easy to. I like to anytime there's like any type of arguments or debates or like, disagreement with stuff, I like to look at both sides of the pendulum. I feel like there's three sides to everything. There's one side, and then there's the truth. That's mainly for arguments, but for this sake, I was thinking like, okay, he got the award, dude won pretty convincingly, and there wasn't really much pushback from my end, meaning not that my opinion fucking cares or matters, but I was just like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he won, he won pretty hands down. 2010 to 2020. So then I was thinking, well, let me flip the script over here and let me try to, poke holes in that argument, and let me kind of try to argue why he's not, So I thought about it, and I'm like, all right, who's the only other people that you can say have been that consistent over the last decade? I don't know. I mean, you got people out, like I thought about like at first, I guess, like I don't know if it's because like they've been consistent, but maybe not as good. I don't know, but I thought right away, for whatever reason, I thought of Beyonce. Why? I'm just thinking, Beyonce been doing this shit for damn near, well, we'll say like 2 decades now. You know what I'm saying? But 2010 to 2020, I think it was more so like the person itself, independent, right? I think they're looking at individual accolades. I think they're looking at the projects. I don't think like he's dropped, Drake the last 10 years dropped project after project after project after project consistently. And then they even said like he was like number one, like most all-time streams over like Elton John, the Beatles, Michael Jackson, and all this, all these other freaking big name artists and groups. So I thought about it like, all right, Beyonce definitely is up there. Like she gotta be. And then I was just like, she don't got that much individual albums I was put out in the last decade, So that argument kind of went to shit. So then I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, what about someone like maybe Jay-Z? I thought about it, which is like a cop-out because, Beyonce, Jay-Z. And it's just like, he hasn't had that much albums too, consistently like Drake. So then I thought about that too, and I'm like, all right, who else? So, me being the person that I am, like, the rap dude that, that's a big fan of hip hop and music in general, I right away went to J. Cole and Kendrick too, that fucking trio, that 3-headed monster that's like leading everything, right? And I'm like, mind you, like I said, like I talked about in the other previous episode, maybe it's just recency bias, but, I'm a big fan of J. Cole. And his projects that he dropped, I'm thinking like, yo, that shit's up there. Definitely already off top. I mean, like, at least in the nomination of Best Rap Album of 2020, in my opinion. But I mean, they came kind of few and far in between. Does it match up with Drake? I mean, I don't know. I do not know. That's one that I would have to like. I want to argue that with the person, not even just argue, but like go talk about it with the person and the guest on. So I'll save that one for that. But I feel like they fall out of the argument too because I mean, yo, how many years has it been since Kendrick dropped an album? The last one being Damn. I've said this shit hella times. Like, yo, drop some music. So they fall out of it. So then I'm like, damn, for real, like it got to be him. You know what I mean? It got to be Drake. So shouts out to Drake and give him his flowers where he's here and dominated all that shit. And no argument on my side. I wanted to talk about too. I made the post on the podcast page about like, letting people know like, yo, who do you guys want to see next on the podcast? That type of thing. Great responses, a lot of great interactions. And I thank you guys for all that. And I'm definitely going to be booking a lot of the ones that were on there. And, some of them are already in the works, and some of them is just like, it's just one of those things where you got to like, yo, if you really want, your brand or your business or, your hobby or whatever it is, if you really wanted to expand, man, you got to get out of that comfort zone. You got to do things that are a little bit, maybe not exactly what you would do. And you got to like shoot your shot on a bunch of shit. Like, yo, I tagged Kehlani on that post. I added her in there. Like, yo, I would love to interview her because I really do mean it. I would love to interview her, or talk about her or just have her on the podcast in general. Like, is that shit finna happen? No, bro. Like, come on now. Duh. Obviously, I know that. But I'm gonna add it and make it seem like, yo, I'm sure that's my way of being like, shit, at least I tried. You know what I'm saying? And there's a few people on there that I did. Like, I just added them. Like, yo, I would love to have them on, or I would just like reach out to them with that, do I see it actually happening? A lot of them I'd say like 20% of it was like a no, but 80% of them were just like, yeah. I was like, oh shit, and that's all it takes, just gotta ask, you gotta shoot your shot, shoot or shoot, bro, shoot or shoot, so I'm definitely looking forward to like booking a few of those people on that I, had commented on, and yeah, like just kind of setting it up for the future, I guess you would say, because time is flying, and I do these every single week, and they intermittently change between solo ones and the guest ones, so and some group ones, you know what I mean? So I'm thankful to say that a bunch of them are going to be coming on. I just have to actually like book them. You know what I mean? I've only reached out to a few because I can only do so much shit in a day, and I'm going to be reaching out a few of them. Probably by the time this one drops, I'll reach out to the rest of them and everything. But yeah, yo, like if you're watching, if you're listening to, go back to that post and, comment down below. Who you guys think, you know what I mean? Who do you find interesting? Who are you curious of? Who are you a fan of? Who do you think would like, match up good with the podcast? Or who do you would like to highlight, you know what I mean? That's like that's the main crux of this. Like the main thing with this is embracing, the podcast is, essentially it's embracing all things hypocritical. And it's also highlighting dope people, you know what I mean? And then kind of, introducing them and, getting some interactions and, showing you guys a different side of some people or their backgrounds from some stuff or just opinions, man. Because conversation is conversation. You feel what I'm saying? Like conversations is conversations. And at the end of the day, this is just a broadcast of conversation. So yeah, that was a success. And I got like some other shit cooking up too, like a giveaway that I got coming out. I can't really say just yet. Some more behind the scenes stuff that I'm shooting separate for the YouTube channel. And then another little commercial skit that I got brewed up. You feel me? Like that's already written and everything. I just got to like get everything all, tuned up and everything. So that's going to be cool too. But other than that, not much going on besides work, besides family stuff. I want to get into, actually, the good thing, like, as I, embrace, at first I was not reluctant, but like the solo episodes, like to me personally, like, I'm just like, like they're, I do them and everything. And it's good to like talk about everything in between and break down a few things or, talk about like some stuff that's going on in the life and everything. But I'm just now also starting getting used to like being more open for a lot of stuff and being more comfortable sitting in here and doing the solo episodes, so I want to start doing some more, or at least incorporating storytelling, because it's like, yo, if you know, there's like a story for everything. I feel like, at least for me, there's every time I talk to people, I'm always just like, yo, true story, yo, true story. Like, oh yeah, you told me, like, you saw that, oh yeah, it happened to you, yo, true story. I'll be like, oh, this ever happened to you? No. Oh, yo, true story. Or like we'll be talking, like, just at lunch or dinner or grabbing a few drinks, and then someone will bring up something, out of nowhere, or they'll want to ask about this and that, and I'll be like, yo, true story, and blah 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 blah, because I got one for like every little thing. So I want to start talking about a few of those, because I feel like the storytelling I enjoy, and some of them are crazy, some of them are funny, some of them probably wouldn't believe me, but I feel like it's gonna be good to bring a few of them up. I just gotta know exactly how am I gonna flow them into this conversation when it's just a solo one, or give some context behind it, So that's something I gotta work on my end, but maybe it's better when you have a guest on, because you can bring those up like naturally, and it doesn't feel so much forced. So I'm gonna be doing that one, because man, do I got some motherfucking stories to tell. But anyway, as always, I keep these ones short. I keep these ones sweet, and I'm fucking tired. So this has been another episode of the Hypocritical AF Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. If you're new to the show, welcome, and thank you for coming along on this journey. Halfway through, we 6 months in, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So y'all stay safe. Peace.